When a child is caught at a young age doing something wrong, something that the parent didn't want them to do, the child starts to give excuses. First, the child says, "Well, I didn't do it." And then when the parent figures out, of course, the child did do it, and says to the child, "Well, I have proof that you did it," then the child naturally starts to say, "Well, I didn't really mean to do that. This is why that happened." So many times in life we take that approach of always trying to make an excuse for something that we did which was wrong, instead of accepting responsibility and being accountable for our actions. The pasuk in Parshas Tazria tells us, "Ve'atzarua asher bo hanega." The person who has tsaras, the person who has this skin affliction, we're told the skin affliction comes for a reason, something the person did that brought about this skin affliction. Parshas Metzora, we see that it from lashon hara, from speaking badly about others, motzi ra, Metzora, from speaking, bringing out something which was bad. So the Torah says that this person who has this affliction, bigadav yihiyu frumim, their clothing should be torn, virosho yihiyeh farua, and their hair should be shaved, ve'al safam ya'ateh, and up to their lips should be covered, v'tamei tamei yikra, and they should be called tamei, they should be called impure, but they themselves should say the word impure, impure. And that's difficult. Why should a person to say that about themselves? Isn't it rather obvious? So Rashi explains that the answer is that we're concerned that if this individual is tamei, if this individual is impure, and people don't know to stay away from the individual, then other people will become impure. So this person is required to say that they are impure. So the Torah points out that each thing that the person is required to do here really speaks to the essence of what brought about this affliction in the first place and how a person is ridding themselves of this affliction. So, for example, there is no medicine for a person doing something badly until they acknowledge what it is that they did, and that, in essence, will clean them out and help them get better. So the clothing, bigadav yihiyu frumim, the need for the clothing to be torn, is so that it can be revealed what it is that the individual did, so that they can accept responsibility. V'rosho yihiyeh farua, the mindset, the thought process that led to them doing something which was wrong that they did, so that should also be revealed as the hair is shaved off. V'tamei tamei yikra, and they have to be called tamei, is in essence the person being accountable. There are many times, as I explained earlier, where we make all kinds of excuses as to why we do something wrong. And we're better off, many times a person could look back and say, I was better off just acknowledging what I did in the first place, accepting responsibility for it, being held accountable for it, and then moving forward. There are too many times in life where we make excuses for something that we do wrong, instead of accepting responsibility. So the Torah explains that better off for a person to be called tamei than for a person to be shaded, to be colored, to protect, to cover up something that they did. And we see this very often in this world, Lahavdil, we see it with politicians, that some rumor starts and a person is complete denial, and then there's more information that comes out and more information that comes out, and the person is seen to have been caught in a lie. So we should keep in mind ourselves that when it comes to us and our own responsibility vis-a-vis our relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that of course it's personal, and whether it be with someone else or our relationship with God, we need to be accountable, hold ourselves accountable, and it's okay for us to acknowledge our mistakes, to accept responsibility, and hopefully while doing so, we will improve as people and as servants of God. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.